Thank you all for joining us today. We're going to have a relatively short meeting. There's been a lot of interest in the debate series of recall candidates. While we are not taking a stance for or against the recall, we have been able to host many conservative and liberal candidates, and that has been awesome. I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. And so while that's been pretty great, we will start that debate series. There's a special debate at 11:30, which is why we're going to end this meeting relatively soon in order to get to that. And then there will be the main recall debate at 1, and then another recall candidates debate at 3:30. So we're going to have 3 debates today. One starts at 11:30. That is a special debate amongst 3 independent candidates, registered declared candidates on the topic of California independence. They asked to have a debate on that, not me. So yes, California did not prompt that, but we will have a debate with the 3 of them starting at 11:30. Additionally, there'll be another debate with 5 or 6 new recall candidates we've not met, half of which are liberal, starting at 1 p.m. They will be asked the 15 crises that a California governor faces. Then additionally at 3:30, we will have another round of debate where people will ask questions that were posed by the Times of San Diego. The Times of San Diego recently had an interview, actually a series of questions they asked top candidates for the recall election, and we're going to take those questions and ask some of the recall candidates ourselves. So lots of debates today, lots of success. We've been able to get into the news with California Globe because of the recall debates. We've also made international news, Scottish news and Portuguese news twice, and we've also made some local Fresno news. So that's coming up. The main issue for today is we're going to get approval for the process of issuing resolutions. Robert Stark has been very patient, waiting with us and following the system. We're going to start issuing resolutions showing that, yes, California is friendly and recognizes other peaceful, legal independence movements. We have about 10 of them identified. We have a model for making resolutions for them. We're going to cover that model with you today, ask for your permission. What we'd like to do is be able to have the resolutions committee just draft speeches that the president, myself, would then make a video of, and we would have a print resolution of. So it'd be a print resolution and a video. And Jason and other people can use that to reach out to these independence movements and Robert Stark. So we're going to give them the tools to get better communication with Yes California. And that's the point of today. What I'd like to do is get approval from the Congress about the model and the format of creating the resolutions. And then the committee would make the resolutions and we'd leave a week for everybody to put edits on it. I initially was saying, let's just approve the model and then get these statements out. I'm now saying, let's approve the model, let's get the statements out, but we'll leave Congress 1 week to review, to make any comments. If they don't make comments, it gets released after a week. We're going to get to that in a second here. That is the main point for today's debate. However, we like to celebrate success, and that's very important. So I'm going to share screen and show you guys a couple things. So I hope you can see this. This was a article about the recall. Who wants to be a governor? Fresno man is on the list. And they're talking about governor candidate Nicholas Wildstar. And he got into the news. So Nicholas Wildstar made GV Wire, which is a local Fresno newspaper. And they did a pretty good article here. What I wanted to point out is that they're covering the recall. And then here is the debate. So yes, California is covered in that article. Yes, California is covering debate. There's Nicholas, there's the debate, and it's the bottom half of the article. So we think that this article came out, which covered Nick because he was in the debate, which was something shiny. Because of this article, Nick was able to get into this article. Very proud. This is your Central Valley. That's KC24, which is a ABC or NBC affiliate.
Well, the last time he ran for governor, he declared as a libertarian, but now he's running as a Republican. Nicholas Wildstar. Welcome to Sunday.
And Nick did pretty damn good in this interview. He did very well. But meet the lone candidate in the recall race from Fresno. So this is a man is in recall race from Fresno. That's the title of this article from KC24, mainstream news. It's the same title as this, basically. So KC24 saw this article and then said, that's a good idea. Let's make an article of that. So the mainstream news for Nick came from the GV Wire article. The GV Wire article was picked up because of the debate from Yes California. So the point is that working with Yes California is good for your brand, helps get you in the media. I was asked, why were we doing the media strategy that we had been doing? And I said, because it's going to get us all sorts of media attention. And I was right. So a few weeks ago, it was called out, why is Lewis in the promotion? Why is Lewis out there so much? And I said, because Lewis is a spectacle. We're going to wrap him up in the debate, which is another spectacle. We're going to make the debate the most professional thing anybody's ever done. That'll make us unique. Uniqueness and shiny equals something the media is insatiable to attach themselves to. Well, it worked. Because we had Lewis running, because we got him in the debates, it was shiny. Because we made that poster, it looked professional. Because of that, there was a news article. Because of that article, there was an additional news article. So I just want to point out, working with Yes California has been incredibly successful for many people. We are great at media. We are great at getting our partners media, and we are happy to do so. Moving on, we're now going to get into the main issue, which is resolutions for other independence movements. This has been an idea championed by Robert Stark. Largely, the idea is that there's about a couple other independence movements around the world that are peaceful. We would like Yes California to start issuing formal resolutions to them. The resolutions would be a printed thing. There'd be a speech. We'd have a nice printed version on letterhead issued on our website. And then in addition, there'd be a video that I would make. Now, I would not be writing the script. The script would come from the resolutions committee. They'd put words in my mouth, but we would make the video. So there'd be a nice video and a nice speech for people to use to reach out to other independence movements, which is one of the mission statements of Yes California, to raise our profile as a professional organization and to show that California can operate as a nation. Reaching out to other independence movements is a way of doing that. So I'm going to turn it over to Robert Stark real quick. Robert, would you like to talk about what we're trying to do here today, what we need to do?
Yeah, just to introduce, we kind of agreed upon a template for these different independence movements. So far, we have the text for just two, the one for the Cape Independence and then the one for Catalan, and those are the only two. But Mark has mentioned we have about 10 different ones listed. So what we're discussing today is just to vote upon the template, and then to Marcus, if you want to, if we have enough time, you should go ahead and read the text that we agreed upon at our committee meetings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there's one major committee out there right now. It's the resolutions committee. It's Tuesday at 7. If you want to propose something for the official word of the Calexit movement, you can do that, but you got to go to the Tuesday meeting. So the Tuesday meeting is still meeting. It's a small group, but we're getting a lot done. Let me cover the basics. Here's the model that the resolution committee made up. Robert wrote a speech to the Cape Party. It was based upon Jason's writing of a speech to the Scotland independence movement. From the speech to the Cape Party and the Scottish independence movement, we created a pattern that we noticed seemed to work for everybody. So this is roughly the pattern. And the model is the Cape Party. So we took the original Cape speech and broke it up into these sections. You'll see these sections play out again with the Catalan speech. We'll show you in a second. So, sorry. This is a speech for the Cape Party, which seeks an independent nation made up of the Western and Northern Cape regions of South Africa, and to all peoples of the Cape region of South Africa on behalf of the Calexit Congress. That would be the to whom statement. We admire you as a friend and sister nation holding shared values such as a fellow quest for independence and for equality of all peoples. That would be the respect statement. We also recognize the similar traits, including your Mediterranean climate, geography, diversity, and as a hub of economic innovation and international trade and tourism, and unfortunately economic servitude, that you, like us, are paying an unfair tax to the larger country because of your economic success. So that is, we have similar traits. A larger nation that controls you and is undemocratic, with one-party rule rather than our two-party duopoly. Because of this form of unbalanced rulership over you, the people of the Cape, your government does not respect your diversity or the fact that your citizens have been or are being robbed economically and culturally. That is we face similar opposition to your struggle. We at Yes California Calexit Congress wish you all the best on your struggle for independence and a peaceful democratic referendum like the one we have planned in California. We support your mission emotionally. That's all we can do at this point because we're not officially a nation, and we support that you pursue independence legally, peacefully. We look forward to strengthening the ties between our lands and peoples once the people of California and the Cape have had a successful vote for independence as independent sovereign nation. We would be allies if California was a separate nation. So who is this speech for? Hey, we respect your movement. We see you as equals right up front. So this is for you. We respect you. Here's why we respect you. We actually took the time to look into your movement. We found that we have similar traits. We also have similar difficulties in achieving independence as you. So this is to you. We see you. We respect you. By the way, we're very similar in culture and issues. And we're also similar in our opposition to achieving freedom. And then we support you emotionally and support that you are committed like us to legal, peaceful. And the closing statement is when we're independent, if that happens, we would recognize you as a separate nation. That was used for the Cape Party. And let me show you the model for Catalan. So you saw the Cape Party one. We took that model you saw, which used the Cape Party, and we wrote this. So here is the to whom. To whom? This is a speech from the Calexit Congress to the Catalan independence movement, which seeks self-determination. We respect you. We admire you as a friend and sister nation holding shared values, including a commitment to the right to hold a peaceful vote for independence. We are similar. We acknowledge that you have a distinct culture, including language, from the rest of Spain. We in California watched as your government beat your people for wanting to hold a peaceful vote and treated them with as much repression as the Chinese government did to the people of Hong Kong for wanting what we in California want, the right to have a peaceful vote to determine a regional government. Then we go and we recognize that you have similar cultural traits as us. Actually, this paragraph should probably be taken and put up here. And then this one should be put up here. So this is similar opposition. This is similar traits. This one should just go up here. We also recognize the similar traits between our movements, including your Mediterranean climate and geography of being a major port region, which has led you to become economically centered around international trade to a degree far beyond the rest of Spain. Your willingness to connect to the outside world has brought you more wealth than the rest of Spain. And because of that, and because of the different historical culture, you too, like we in California, have been overly taxed and had your wealth taken from you to the benefit of the rest of your host nation. A host that does not share your values and is not dedicated like you are to doing what it takes to be a modern international trade economy. Finally, we wish you the best on your struggle for independence and a peaceful democratic referendum and look forward to strengthening the ties between our lands and people. So a commitment to democratic referendum and that we're with you. So you've seen two examples of the model. To whom we respect you. We have a similar culture to you. We have similar opposition. By the way, we are committed to peaceful democratic revolution and hope you are too and emotionally support you. That is the model. Those are two examples. Robert Stark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think both of those, they sound excellent. I don't have anything else to add. I put forth all my points in the committee meetings, but if we have time, should we open up to comments about both the template and those specific resolutions?
Yes. Robert and Jason, I got to take a phone call to get ready for the recall debate, so I'm going to step away for 2 minutes. This is open discussion time, so let me unmute everybody. Everybody should be unmuted. Unmute mic, unmute mic, unmute mic, unmute mic. Okay, so Jason, are you there? Can you talk?
Yeah.
And Robert, okay, open discussion. Give me 2 minutes to call one of the candidates. I'll be right back. We just covered the model, how it is, and we covered 2 examples for the cake party and another one. What I'd like to do is get permission from the Congress to use this model and have the committee just punch these out. The Congress would approve the model. The committee then would begin to make the speeches. They'd have to follow the model. Everybody would still get a week to review the speech before it finally goes out. So approve the model. The resolution committee pumps out these speeches, but hey, you get one last chance to edit it. You get a week after they do it. I'll send it out to everybody to make edits before it finally goes out in a video and speech format. Please discuss.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out to Congress that the statements that we've made of solidarity, the ones that we have already drafted, if everyone approves or if majority approves of the template, then we won't need to go over each individual statement. But also, having just heard these 2 that have been pretty much finalized, rather than hold a separate vote on each of them and a vote for approval of the template, we are just asking just for approval of the template, and that approval of the template will mean that the Joint Issues Resolutions Committee, chaired by Mr. Stark and myself, it will have a mandate and the authority to use this template and create solidarity statements for different peaceful legal movements around the world. Does anyone have any input on it? Is there anything anyone didn't like?
I think it's great. I would just say thank you for taking the initiative.
I agree with that. If I mean, I'm sorry to be a stickler, but we've tried to have this discussion 3 times. Is there any opposition to using the model or to the idea that we would approve the model today? The resolutions committee would start issuing resolutions only to peaceful legal independence movements. You're peaceful legal or we don't talk to you. So you're just approving, hey, the resolutions committee can use this model to reach out to only peaceful legal people and make speeches. And that Congress would have a week, provided the president let them know, hey, the resolution committee made this speech, they want approval. I'll send out an email to you. You'll have 5 days, maybe 5 to 7 to go. Let's change this up. Is anyone opposed to that idea or can't possibly live with that or think it's the worst thing ever and is a way to create chaos on earth? Robert, Jason, comments? I'm sensing it's approved.
Yeah, I approve.
Jason, last minute comments? Jason, comments? You are unmuted. Jason? Okay. We lost Jason here for a second. So we have a few minutes to wrap this up. I'm going to assume that since no one's opposed to it, that it is approved. So I'm going to say right now, Congress approves.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, a little technical issue with my StreamYard there. Yeah, obviously I approve. I was hoping that we would have a few more people weigh in on it, but I will, in the interest of, being able to continue on getting things done, making progress, I will go with whatever the board decides, as far as how many votes we're going to need for it to pass. Yeah, something tells me 5, like, that's not really quite enough, is it? Or is it?
Well, if you want, I could take the time of trying to reach out to all 20 members in a text and see if I could get a majority of yeses. That takes me anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. That's up to you and Robert. This is me trying to be accommodating. If you guys want me to go to extra steps, I will, but just recognize that you're saying, hey, Marcus, let's push this out another 2 weeks for final approval. If that's what you want, I'll do that.
Yeah, I normally do go the route of strongest democratic process. However, I do feel like in the interest of progress, we've got 5 people here, 5 people that approve. That's 100% of attending congressional representatives of Calexit. So I'm all right with letting it be approved off of 5, mainly just so that we can get it done.
Well, how about this? We, unless anyone's opposed, let's say that it's basically tacitly approved. We've been talking about this for a month. I really don't think anybody, is going to be caught off guard and say, I never heard of this, I never saw it. So we'll talk about going through the most democratic process, but I'm going to go on executive privilege and say, we've been trying to get this through for 3 times. We brought it up multiple times. Everybody's heard about it. I've heard other people giving comments. I'm going to say it's tacitly approved. We've presented it many times to Congress. We presented it many times on email. Nobody has balked. It's pretty standard. So let's just go forward with that. So it is now official. The resolution committee can use the model we talked about. They must use that model. They can use it only for peaceful, recognized independence movements. I think we were looking at the Cape Party, Texas, Hawaii, New Caledonia, Catalonia, etc. Peaceful independence movements.
Scotland, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and we might do the Afar region in Ethiopia. For this reason, while there is a lot of violence in that region, that independence movement is pro-peace and not violence. Violence is being done to them. We are still willing to be partners with you if you are in a violent conflict. If you are not for violence and are for peace, we cannot stop you being the victims. So sometimes there are some people who are caught up in violent conflicts. That is not because they're backing violence. That is because their host government is backing violence against them. Those are still people we will reach out to. Now, the moment that they seem to suggest violence, we will cut all ties. But if you're peaceful, legal, and you live in the world, we're going to issue a resolution to you. If anybody's opposed to that concept, we're going to start issuing these resolutions. They'll come out of the committees, show up Tuesday at 7 p.m. every week to participate. You can jump in. Jason and Robert are always happy to invite guests. You can get in as involved as you want. And then after the statement comes out, you'll have a week to review. After a week of review, we will issue a joint statement on letterhead and video. Is anyone opposed? Okay. Then I have a debate here in about 5 minutes I have to get ready to go to. And let me see if I can find the...
if I may, real quick, as International Outreach Committee Chair, I'd just like to say to any and all people who are viewing from outside of California, if you wish for us to cover your group, your movement, your nation, your people, please reach out to us. Let us know. Every Tuesday on Marcus's YouTube channel, the Calexit YouTube channel, every Tuesday at 7, there will be a resolutions committee or joint issues committee, and we deal with domestic and international issues at that time. And one of those things is statement of solidarity. So please come join us.
Yeah. All right, guys. I got to get prepped for the next one. If everybody can look in the private chat, there's a link for the public to watch. So if you're here, you can go watch the Yes California registered candidates recall debate on specifically the topic of independence. It's at the Yes California YouTube channel. If you want to take a look, it's in the private chat. Otherwise, I got to close the stream and get over to that one. Oh, one last thing. There was a request for us to pick one candidate over another. The person who made that request, which was only one person in the entire Congress ever made this request. They made the request a couple times. So following the process, I had to bring it up. I had booked that question to be discussed if we had free time today, and I booked for it to be the main issue at the next meeting. However, that person has now rescinded their request. So we are going to drop the issue completely to pick one candidate over another, because the person who was only one person pushing this has now rescinded the request. So there was no interest in this from anyone else, and only one person was pushing it and they backed down. So I'm dropping it. That's the end of the meeting. We'll see you at the other stream.